Hello, boys and girls. This is McCoy welcoming you back to another episode of the Tourist Plaza Classic podcast. Last time we covered round one recap and round two predictions, and this time we're going to do round two recap and round three predictions. The round two essentially became just a repeat of round one, wherein a lot of matches were determined by dropouts, people given the win, acts, but there were at least a couple of matches that were played that we're going to talk about. It. Oh boy, some of them you definitely gotta be like, what? That's the team that he won with? Okay. So we're gonna cover all these games right here, right now. First off is Clastia versus Mr. Bossaru, which actually will not be covered because they've extended their game. And so next week we're going to cover their game, Clastia versus Mr. Bossaru. Even though it says Mr. Bossaru won against Clastia, they've requested to do an extension, Pod accepted, and so we are getting the actual game of round two next week, and we'll cover that next week. First off, we got Akashi versus Tranquil. Oh, well, actually, there were a couple of matches here that I really would have loved to see that didn't absolutely get played. One of them is Akashi versus Tranquility. I wish that was played. I wish that would absolutely be a great match, but unfortunately, Axe gave Jaren the win, so that was unfortunate. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see, but hey, real life takes over Pokemon. Frixel versus Doron. I really wanted to see. Fortunately, we didn't. Um, hey, Frixel's gone, so that's a plus. And Mac versus Garrett. I really wanted to see this. I've been looking into Garrett recently. Turns out he's actually quite experienced in the Cap community. Has competed in a lot of Cap related things on Smogon and in Pokemon Showdown itself. So I really would love to see what Garrett can do in a tier that is very build heavy as TPP. PC. Sorry, TPP as well, but the single store. First matchup we're going to discuss is Rex versus Ashbala. So, this game was kind of weird to watch. First off, you got a curious trick room team presented by Ashbala, which had Corsola and Conkeldurr, which I know Conkeldurr is a staple, but Corsola being a staple in trick room teams, I get the rest, but Corsola is definitely the oddball there. Healing Wish turn on Conkeldurr benefited Ash for a little bit. As you can see right here, the Healing Wish from Conkeldurr absolutely helped. Actually, no, it wasn't around that point. This was around this point where the Healing Wish absolutely activated. Wrong mon. It was the Cresselia who activated Healing Wish, not whatever. It's fine. It just the Healing Wish mattered, okay? And yeah, Conkeldurr basically did what any Conkeldurr would do: is just sweep under Trick Room. Thing. Slow Pokemon are very beneficial. Conkeldurr being one of the great abusers of Trick Room, and fortunately, it is in UU. So there you go. Marowak was also there for a little bit. Curiously, it had Substitute, which you never see with Marowak sets. But yeah, this was absolutely interesting to see. Once it's done sweeping, there you go. After Celesteela does the protect, Marowak opted to go for Substitute. Very curious, but I could see why they would do that. And of course, Marowak, no, Excadrill, sorry, Excadrill ended up sweeping the rest of the game, which gives Rex the win. However, game two, really weird play from Rex right off the bat, because there was a question in my mind that I didn't want to see. Is that he had Hydreigon in the front and Hatterene was set up Trick Room. Why didn't he switch out to say a Scizor or a Nidoking or even a Moltres because it was ready to dazzling gleam. I get why staying in, maybe to potentially catch a switch, but it was gonna stay in because it's a slow Pokemon and it benefits under Trick Room. Why couldn't you just anyway? Rant aside, um there's nothing really too much that happened. I think Ashbala really benefited Trick Room better than he did in game one. There was the Fightinium Z Scizor, which was really cool to see. Other than that, though, Moltres just dealing enough damage for Moltres with the Poltergeist and all. Just enough for the kill, and then Prim ended up killing Scizor again. Game three. There's a Sun team for Rex and a Webs HO team for Ash. Uh, Rex really sacked his Amoonguss to the Lycanium Z Lycanroc, which I'll show you right around. Uh, oh, sorry, skip too much. Right around here. This Lycanium Z right into the Amoonguss, really costing the sack because Amoonguss would have been actually beneficial. Take care of this and potentially this either. But yeah, that was a weird play. And then Necrozma ended up winning the game after Webs was set up. Um, Ash Bala knew what he had to do, just sweep with the Zoomerl and then sweep with Necrozma at the end. Very good play by Ash Bala to beat Rex. Even though it was a misplay at the end, still not a very good look. Next up, we got Tenebricite versus what should by name be? Very confusing name. I'll just call him Name Guy. I looked into Tenebricite before this game, and turns out he's competed in a lot of TP seasonals. He's currently neutral in Team Ballo, which is an Italian team tour that I compete in. He's neutral there, 5-5. He's doing well in, I believe it was Gen 9 OU. But game one in terms of TPP, the TPC game one, name guy tried to do a stally approach, very stally team as you can see. While Tenebrae side very simple, very very uncommon, but also pretty common UU team. There was an Icium Z Mamoswine play. That was a surprise to me because normally they would run that would think, oh, it's probably the Roserade that has the, or the Azelf that has the Z crystal. No, it was totally a Mamoswine, and that kill of the Tangrowth, I know it would have killed due to that roll, but still, that was a really impressive play there. Very good use of the building and what you have, and then yeah, towards the end, that Ice Shard, that one hit KO Ice Shard, really sealed the deal on game one. Game two was the same story, albeit in a much slower pace. Tenebricite really took a lot of steps to avoid that body press Skarmory just running wild. First, you got the Defog. You got then you got the Amoonguss, is with the body press. Uh, then it came back towards the later part of the game. For example, this one. Um, right towards the beginning, he tried to he tried he tried to really avoid the Skarmory potentially sweeping with the Iron Defense body press set, which was ironic. And in the end, Tenebricite's Lycanroc absolutely stole the game towards the end. That it just basically killed all of Name Guy's Mons by Ice by Lycanium Z and Sandrush just being very beneficial. Even with the burn, Lycanroc was still sweeping, and yeah, healing. Healing Wish really helped with Jirachi. And towards the end, yeah, that was it. Like in Rock wins. GG. Good job, Tenebrasite. I did a poor job explaining your win, but basically, Tenebrasite wins lol. Next up is Metagross does Architectu or MDA versus Magirna the Boss or MTB. God, the long names really suck. But good thing I shortened. Game 1 saw some interesting sets. First of all, Trick Room Gyroball Explosion Bronzong, which, okay, you may have seen that once or twice in the Trick Room game, but later you revealed Gyroball Delmise, which was interesting. Magirna the Boss definitely played better of the two, consistently having Intimidate to play around with to neuter a lot of the physical attackers. For example, the Delmise and the Tapu Bulu got under, and just overall keeping the offensive pressure with the team that he had. It was also beneficial that he had the better matchup of the two. You know, everything on this team can easily wipe out anything on this team. So it was very good. It was a very good play. Game two, this time was MDA's game. I think MDA did absolutely better in this game, in game two. Maybe because of the team choice that he had, but also just, you know, being well prepped is all. Odd choices for, an odd choice for a set here is a Life Orb Pissimian. We saw that into play. That absolutely killed the Cabalion, which is okay. Okay, but Magirna the Boss really didn't do himself any favors by just going for the attack on Pessimian. We could have just easily switched out, let it take care of another Mon. The weird play with that. Salamence, towards the middle part of this, Salamence was really determined to try to take out Slowbro, despite the despite getting burned with the Scald. It still really wanted to kill with the Slowbro. I don't know if it's just pure stubbornness or just the heart of the card, or just relying on those boosts because Slowbro really didn't do any damage. It could literally tank a hit. But, the Dragonium Z definitely helped. Overall, overall though, towards the end game, it was definitely you could sense the feeling that it was going into MDA's fight, especially towards the end with Celesteela. When Celesteela started to run wild against Raikou, when the Raikou was dead, Celesteela ended up sweeping the rest of the team. Very good showing by MDA there. And then game three, we saw another interesting team from MDA with the Reversal Endure Hitmonlee. And of course a Dusclops, which you never see in UU. Never see it. But the Hitmonlee, when it came in, why did he do a Thunder Dragon Dance when he straight up go for the kill? I don't know. Yeah, living the Focus Sash, didn't get flinched, got the Lychee Berry off, and then reversal. Boom, killing the Gyarados, which could have potentially sweep his entire team if he was not careful. Fortunately enough, he saw through that. And then towards the end, after the Ribombi died, Reggie Drago was able to just go ham with Dragon Energy. I believe it was Scarfed as well. So good on MDA for absolutely playing better. He did. He got a rough start in game one, but towards games two and three, he really picked it up and got on beating Magirna the Boss, who I really he thought was gonna go far in this tour. Next up is Ruffna versus Floor. Said last time that this match would be a pretty evenly team match between these two. Thought thought Floor's rustiness would have been a little bit skill issue. Unfortunately, no, it wasn't, uh, and it was very evident here in this game. First of all, the Poltegeist nearly knocking out Jirachi. Uh, it was right around, yeah, yes, the crit, but The Shell Smash coming in. This not this not killing Jirachi was kind of a bad way, and I actually calc this to determine how much that would do. Turns out he just got a unlucky roll. Like it was 91 to 107. Um, even at +1 special defense for Jirachi, it would still kill if it gotten the high roll. Unfortunately, it wasn't. That wasn't to be the case. Unless this, unless this thing is specially built, but still, that should have killed. And then towards the ending part, why did Rafna switch to Necrozma while Primarina was setting up? Why didn't he just go for the Primarina when it was setting up Calm Mind? When it was doing the setup, why did he just chance it? Or at least let Zarud, power whip, boom, kill the Primarina. Why didn't he just do that? Ugh, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, maybe he just gave up and wanted to go to game two. That's just my speculation. Who knows? And then game two, we saw an air slash early miss. That was the first note that I had. It was this, the air slash miss against the Conkelder, which absolutely killed Celesteela. But what saved Stitch was once again the happy hour Normalium Z's Jirachi. Get ready to see a lot of this in this review because oh boy, this was absolutely a menace, including in my game. But we'll get to that when we get to that. But yeah, happy hour Jirachi definitely did any favors there. Unfortunately, this was Sash Excadrill, so the stack attack I couldn't really do anything, and then Stitch just played out the trick rooms long enough in order for Conkeldurr in order for just in order in order to just win. Okay, so good win for Stitch. I'm glad that he isn't rusty, but we'll have to see in the coming weeks if he can maintain that sort of momentum. Next up is Latias versus G Chandelure. This game had this game was uneventful apart from a couple of things in game one um that I've seen. First of all, why would did lot why would G Chandelure? Well, first of all, the rock slide miss. This was a common thing in that game. The rock slide kept missing and missing and missing a lot in the game, which was unfortunate facts for Giga Chandelure. Here though is the real complaint that I have. Why did Giga Chandelure just went for the Gracium C against the Chandelure? If he had known to keep it, he would have if he had known to keep the Gracium Z, it would absolutely kill the Rotom, the Digger Speed. Well, even do a lot of damage to Tangrowth, but really against the Chandelure, that's when you want to unleash it. It wasn't even trying to switch out or anything. It's just wanting to stay in because it was sun out and it's effective. You should know this. You're a Chandelure. Nothing much else to say about this game. Latias just played better. Um, the Sun team didn't really help Giga Chandelure in his favor, so towards the end, Latias absolutely won. Game two was nothing much better, to be honest. Although Giga Chandelure absolutely played better than he did in game one, and it was not as questionable. But Latias definitely had the better matchup, and the experience really helped him because he absolutely played better and just counteracting the trick room very well. And yeah, nothing much else to say. Latias deserved the win and went through to the next round. Next up, Diego versus One Last Kiss. Game one. It was very bold of Diego trying to set up against Frostlass of all things. What do I mean by this? He went for Coil with Zygarde. Very bold when you consider this Frostlass is just very strong, very powerful. Um, Both played fairly well, I will say. Both played absolutely played to their strengths very well, and I'm very happy that we got a competent OU EU game, even though there were competent ones before. However, Diego, Lycanroc was definitely the correct win con, as everything else kind of died to it, especially when this couldn't kill this, went for the Stone Edge, then killed that, and then the Lycanium Z came in clutch, Poltegeist, and then the Stone Edge absolutely hit and killing Gyarados. Very, very well done. Reverse sweep, definitely a very common factor in TPC games as well. Game two, this one was just a good old fashioned, eh, good old fashioned chess match, I would say. Granted, there were a couple of curious Gyarados versus Salamence turns. For example, right here when they was going for the bounce, Salamence went for Draco Meteor. Bounce didn't hit, and bounce bounce didn't paralyze. I mean, and then went for the Draco Meteor, killed the Gyarados. Very curious turn that one. Like to have a special mention there. Getting rid of the hazards when he did was very, very wise of Diego. It was right around, yeah, when he had to kill the Necrozma. Very wise choice to just get in with Excadrill and hopefully get rid of the Rapid Spin so that this wouldn't kill him or this wouldn't kill him, which was a very smart move. And then Tangrowth ended up winning the whole game because it just kept tanking hits left, right, and center, Sludge Bomb, and then killing the Lycanroc with Power Whip. Very, very useful. Very good job for Diego. Absolutely, absolutely has improved a lot over the past couple of weeks, and you may know, and you never know. Maybe he will become a breakout star, and we'll see. We'll see. Next up is Saba versus Lechin. Highlight much? Not really when you consider the game. Um, Game one, we saw Saba playing around the Normalium Z Jirachi very, very well. First of all, had to give kudos to that. He set up the Jirachi, so you think, oh, Saba's gonna try to play around it, right? Getting the crit, Nido King, which was a sack, but you could forgive him because he's under webs. So you get the Excadrill in, avoided the flinch, and then boom. Very well played set of turns there for Saba. Um, Overall, the rest of the game just exactly played out as a normal UU game. Saba absolutely winning, which was very impressive. Lechin really tried to give him a fighting chance, especially with the Poltegeist, but Poltegeist was too low. Kellio couldn't really do anything, and Azelf especially couldn't do anything, and he had to rely on that thing a lot, and the Zygarde as well. But yeah, Lechin lost. Game one. Game two, much better. Even though Lechin did try using stall, using semi stall actually. The MVP of this game, however, was Togekiss. Because Togekiss absolutely came in and did some damage. First of all, it nerfed Quagsire a lot during this game. Him like the air slash, flinch, and then the crit. Absolutely nerfed it. Didn't really give it a chance. Legend also missed the toxic, but I don't think it would have mattered because this thing had heal bell. It was revealed that it had heal bell after the game. And ironic thing here, Saba used the Normalium Z Jirachi in this game. How ironic, considering he almost lost to that in game, which not really. I'm just making joke. Yeah, Saba absolutely won. Very, very expected that he would win. Next up is a Euphanos versus Geov. And this one, let me tell you guys, this one is the best match of the week. I wasn't kidding when they said the if Geov can absolutely play their momentum, she can take games into three when she's feeling extra motivated. And Euphanos gave her a hard fight. very hard, and this one is absolutely a hard fight. Even though Euphanos had a couple of tricks up his sleeve, which I'm going to cover in full detail. Game one, we saw Euphanos brought Iron Ball Whimsicott, which I've seen quite a few of, so I'm not surprised there. But what was the real surprise here was Bronzong. It carried, well, not Cobra Bear. That wasn't carried Flamethrower. Okay, but here's the thing: Speed Swap, and then Iron Head later, and then actually got the flinch. What? Just freaking skill swap Serene Grace if you're gonna go this malarkey with your Bronzong sets. Okay. Fortunately, it wasn't really doing. Fortunately, Azelf wasn't parried nor flinched in order to avoid that. Then I believe this suspects Chandelure as it killed this, and then did a lot of damage to Geki, killing it. And then towards the end, the Haxorus ended up sweeping the game with the Dragon Dance boost. Very well played, along with the Dragonium Z, and the Earthquake later to finish Geov off in game one. Game two, Geov had the definite or the better matchup of the two. I don't know. The Euphanos brought a Thwacky to UU, Gen 8 UU. Curious choice. Yeah, the game wasn't interesting. You should really go and watch it because both players absolutely did pretty amazing game. Euphanos looks strong in defeat, and Geov looks strong with a win. Game three. This one was unfortunate. There was an unfortunate set of hacks that happened, which is that that focus miss absolutely mattered because if it had hit, Euphanos' Excadrill would have died. He had no chances for rocks unless he had defog on one of these two, or but Shedinja would be absolutely neutered. Genonic though was an interesting choice to bring. And yeah, Geov just started to lose momentum towards the middle part and end. Even though he had Nihilego, um, the rest of the Mons couldn't really keep up. So unfortunately, Geov lost and Euphanos done. Kind of predictably. Last two games. Next up is the Procorfish versus Prince of Underworld. Very, very classy names. Um, Game one. This one was this one is the archetypal like decent player versus player who is just starting out because there are some games in TP that very evident on how the skill level isn't as good as say yours, but they're still trying. I will not discredit them. Just because they're quote unquote bad doesn't mean they won't improve. They absolutely have multiple ways of improving. And Prince of Underworld certainly carried that here. And Procorfish doing better and better, which is good. Beat EU in the first round, so the expectations were certainly there for EU for Procorfish. I mean, um, there was the first one is the scale shot close combat crocodile, which is a very unique set. Nothing much really else to say other than the fact that Suiku died. Yeah, Procorfish just had the better play, just the better team too. Ended up winning. Very impressive there. Game two, it was all dependent on the beasts. Procorfish only needed Raikou and Suicune to win because Crokune was dealing all this damage and just tanking all this hits, avoiding the poisons along the way from Tentacruel. Um, Haxorus couldn't deal anything. It led up to Keldeo doing it, and then Raikou ended up cleaning the rest, especially with that Fightinium Z surprise against Mamoswine, and then killing the rest with Thunder. So very well played for Corfish. Expectations are slowly rising for you. for you, buddy. Last game we're gonna talk about. Well, my game against Grandmaster, which I lost. Let's see how it happened, shall we? First off, game one, I have to explain myself in the best way I can. Okay. Game one, I absolutely tried to play a little bit more carefully because I know how good Grandmaster is. And looking at his team, there were definitely like uh things I was afraid of, especially the Nihilego and Darmanitan. That was going in. So I played very, very slowly, very curiously, just trying to get the feel back into Gen 8 UU. I think I did well though. I think I did well, and Grandmaster was certainly a very not an easy opponent to beat. Um, Durant, I needed it very very much. So here's the first set of problems I had. So Darmanitan over here, I wasn't sure if this was Scarfed or Life Orb. So that's my explanation why I switched out. I had Rock Slide, but I was kind of scared on whether this was Scarfed or not. Because if it wasn't, then I would absolutely go for it. So yeah, that was a surprise. This one missing the Durant. Durant wasn't really doing anything. I wanted Durant to be good, so I used it. It was UU for a reason. Um, but yeah, there's the bane of my existence, the Normalium Z Happy Hour Jirachi, which I tried playing around. Don't get me wrong, I tried playing around this thing with the Intimidate. It's going around, and of course the Paralyze, of course hitting out of nowhere. Grr. Um, and then the Chansey. And then Chansey over here. I tried using the Intimidate Chansey strategy of just switching out. And then I really wanted to heal until, Jirachi, being Jirachi, decided to flinch, 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 and ended up losing because of that. Jirachi ended up getting sword power and winning. Good. Game two. Probably a little bit more my style. My style of losing, I mean. Okay. Game two, I really, really should have protected Neolego. Oh no, Nidoking. Why did I switch in Nidoking when I should have gone for Cabalion, which is the tried and true Nihilego count? I do not know. Maybe I was scared of it switching out to Regieleki. Maybe I was scared of, potential things coming in like Sumeru, or I just wanted to really make sure that it gets earth powered and dies. But no, I was stupid. I should have had Nidoking. I should really have Nidoking more involved in this game because I needed a counter for Regieleki. Oh, that Regieleki was the big threat going into because I wasn't scared of Neolego anymore. I was scared of more so about Regieleki. Killing the Azumarill with a crit Volt Switch felt nice, just to me. But yeah, this one I could have absolutely pulled off a game too if I just played better. Killing the Scolipede with a still alive Mandibuzz was fortunate. Unfortunately, it got poison. Well, not. Um, then the Scissor comes out, bullet punches, and now here's the thing. Okay, here we go. This is my moment of absolute fail, the Gyarados. So I wanted to sweep with Gyarados. Okay, that was my win con. That is how I'll win this game. Scissor went for Bullet Punch twice. Okay, I'll set up two Dragon Dances to try and outspeed Regieleki, because that one was I afraid of. So kill the Scissor. But Poltergeist comes in. I tried to do a Z move. It was Sash. And then it revealed weak armor. And then it Shell Smashed, ensuring it that it would outspeed Gyarados. And I died. And then I lost. GG. A very sad way to end IMO, but you know what? Kudos to Grandmaster. Definitely a good opponent. I wish him luck in the next round. And you know what? I wasn't able to replicate the success I had in my prime as a TP player. You know what? I'd be damn a fool if I don't come back next year and try my hand again. So that's the end of my and a lot of people's roads in TPC in round two. A lot of favorites actually losing in round, and that's not including me. Bleh. I'm not a favorite by any means. I'm washed. Okay, I retired. But round three looks to be very promising, though. Round three looks to be the best of the best. It's top 16 time actually, and the chosen tier this time is Weather Wars, aka Gen 5 OU with weather ability. Um, so it's gonna be plus drizzle, plus swift swim, plus drought, plus chlorophyll, plus sand rush, which is going to be very fun. I expect a lot of rain. I expect a lot of rain teams and a lot of sand teams to come in. Not not so much sun or you know hail, but still, we never know. There could be some surprises. We'll see. First off, though, let's predict. Let's predict all the matches from this top 16 bracket. First off, Plastia versus Mr. Bossaru. The winner of that will face Akashi. Now, either of these players is going to have a tough time against Darren because Darren, you know him, I know him. If you're living under a rock and you don't know who Darren is, absolutely goated player. Uh, and I think this wouldn't be hard for him, but we'll see. We'll see how this game plays out, and we'll try to see if Jaren can adapt well into old metas once again. But I'd be hard pressed if I'm not a betting man, and I bet Jaren. Next up, Ashbala versus Shadow Master. This one's actually a pretty interesting matchup. Both players seemed okay, relatively okay-ish in the Tours Plaza leaderboard community, and both players can absolutely have their moments. They have moments of brilliance, but there also have been moments of fail. So this one's gonna be kind of hard to predict, but this one could be really close. Was That's my point. This one could be really close, but I'm gonna go and say Shadow Master win. I think Shadow Master definitely has the more advantage, better play between these two comparatively speaking, and maybe Ashbala could put up some bit of surprises, but absolutely think Shadow Master should. Doran versus Saba. This one's gonna be fun, 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 fun. Let's see how Doran can do against the reigning TPC champion. I'm gonna of course pick Saba because he's more well adapted to strange metas, but I won't be surprised if Doran wins. We'll see. Advita versus Stitch, or Dragon Master versus Floar. This one's really close. Both players are, if they are playing in their peak, this is very easy, and I wouldn't know who to call. As of now, though, if this is current Dragon Master versus current Floor, I'm gonna say Dragon Master wins. I think Advita has played a little bit better than Stitch in terms of TP Torch Plaza proper and Torch Plaza events. So I think Dragon Master definitely has all the advantage in the world. Although I do think Stitch may have a chance of winning. Diego versus Metagross. This should be a no-brainer. I think Diego absolutely better. Same with Grandmaster versus Corfish. I think Grandmaster is better. So even though they both have their good moments, in the early rounds, but these two are definitely better players comparatively speaking in this matchup. So I think Diego and Grandmaster should win. Mac versus Tenebrosite. As much as I want Mac to meme his way into the win and absolutely give everyone despair, I think Tenebrosite is a good player, and I'm gonna pick Tenebrosite to win. And finally, Euphanos versus Latias, a highlight match, probably the highlight match of this round in particular. Uh, Both absolutely can play well. and I'm expecting a 3 game series out of these two. If it's a 2 game series, I wouldn't be surprised. It would be either weird sets or bad hacks. So Euphanos should win. I wouldn't, but if Latias can prove himself to get to a 3 game series, I wouldn't be surprised if he wins. But I think Euphanos should win. I think I'm the betting man. Euphanos should win. And that's the end of Forest Plaza Classic this video. Thank you all for watching. Tune in next time. I'm gonna cover round 3 recap, and of course the winner of this. Who will be the who will be the winner and moves on into the Elite Eight, as I call it. So thank you all for watching. If you like this video, leave a comment, subscribe, click that notification bell so you wouldn't miss the videos when they come out. See you next time. This has been McCoy, signing out.